What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Of course, I'm your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst, senior mentor at Kraken Cryptocurrency. Hopefully, you guys are doing absolutely fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning in from. We've got a lot of exciting stuff to cover today. It's going to be kind of a bullet point, boom, boom, bam type episode today. Let's recap what's happened over the past 24 hours. Obviously, we have Binance getting hacked for $40 million worth of American dollars, 7,000 Bitcoin leaving their hot wallet. Now, I really want to know, what level of withdrawal verification do you need to be able to withdraw 7,000 Bitcoin from the exchange? We're going to go into that. We're going to take a deep dive into the Twitter comments because I find that cesspool is often the best place of speculation and information. You just have to be very careful about what you take seriously. Justin Sun coming out, the same guy who faked the Tron giveaways, saying that he would donate the $40 million if, you know, it could be used by Tron and BTT and things of that nature. But whatever, definitely coming out and saying that. CZ, and this is what concerns me the most, and we're going to cover on this. CZ immediately calling, and I'm just going to call it what it is, right? People are saying, oh, he called for a reorganization of the Bitcoin blockchain. He wants to roll back the transaction. He wants to do just what Ethereum did with the DAO hack, which split Ethereum between Ethereum and Ethereum Classic back in the day. What he called for was a 51% attack on Bitcoin, right? That's the only thing that could restructure the blockchain, is a 51% attack, right? With Ethereum, they have the fiat executive ability to roll back the chain. All the just the Ethereum Foundation just had to say, hey, do you agree? Do you agree? Yes, our Lord God, Vitalik Buterin, says we need to roll back the chain. We need to do this. Yes, we all agree. All hail Vitalik. Bitcoin isn't like that. With Bitcoin, you have to overpower the decentralized blockchain to reorganize and rewrite the blockchain, okay? Now, the later it gets, the longer you go, the more exponentially difficult it comes to rewrite the blockchain. I've talked about this a lot before. You know, everybody is terrified of a 51% attack. To rewrite the entire blockchain, which is over 200 gigabytes at this point in time, you would have to remine every single block that has ever been mined by Bitcoin miners in faster than it would take one other miner to mine one block, right? So all you could do with a 51% attack, realistically, is potentially move funds around that have moved maybe in the last day. Maybe. You might be able to affect what's happened over the last day. Would that be very serious? Would that be very dramatic? Of course. But could you take down the 99.99% of Bitcoin's blockchain history? Absolutely not. Because again, you would have to mine the entire chain faster than it takes one miner to mine one new block, right? And then of course the miners can just fork, go with the real block, right? Because that's the wonderful thing about Bitcoin. You know, you can choose to the miners can choose to go where they want to go, all right? It's all about the hash power. So what he called for was not a reorganization of the blockchain, was not a rollback. I don't like those terms, right? What he called for was a 51% attack. And what concerns me the most is that he said it would be easy, okay? That's what he publicly came out and said. That's very concerning to me. Just in the face of, again, it's not going to happen. It didn't happen. It's not easy to do. But the fact that he calmly and casually just stated that he would be okay with that, because that's where he's coming from. Obviously, all he cares about, and I don't blame him for this, covering his bottom line, recovering the 7,000 Bitcoin that was stolen from, that's all he really cares about. You know, so his protestations that he really wants the Bitcoin blockchain to be strong and be good, not so much. And what would you expect from somebody who runs an altcoin exchange, right? You know, they have a lot of Bitcoin trading volume on there with the liquid pair USDT, but they don't allow USD to Bitcoin trading. So we have to understand that this individual is coming into this with a vested interest in altcoins. Now, if you're an altcoin enthusiast, that's absolutely fantastic and wonderful for you. But for those of you who believe in the fundamental characteristic of Bitcoin to actually change the world for the beneficial way, or in a beneficial way, then this is slightly concerning. But again, you wouldn't really not expect this from somebody like CZ. Because again, he has a vested interest in his platform performing well, and they're pulling in billions and billions of dollars. So why would they? Why would they? All right. Let's see what else has happened. Now, he immediately backpedaled after this, however, and said that after talking to Jihan Wu and other, kind of more larger influences, or at least people that he listens to, he said that, oh, no, actually, that's not possible. We couldn't do it even if we wanted to. And, nobody should even mention that. That would be painful for Bitcoin, which is a duh. So just kind of interesting. So as far as anything that's happened, people are talking about the hack is egg on his face. Hacks are hacks, man. Hacks happen. As far as the hack goes, he has been pretty upfront and legitimate about it. I mean, the only concerning thing also is that people are making the claim, and maybe it's founded that they actually lied and were dishonest about the immediate hack. But again, they don't want to cause panic. They don't exactly know what's going on, right? So when he said there's unscheduled server maintenance, and we'll go actually through the chain of time here in just a little bit. He came out with a tweet that said we're going to have some unscheduled server maintenance. Trading will not be affected. Funds are SAFU. And then it came out just shortly after that everybody started posting, well, what's up with the 7,000 Bitcoin that just left your hot wallet? Then he came out after that and said, yes, we've been hacked. I don't think that's indicative. I don't think that he was lying about anything. Listen, I don't know how many of you guys have run a large organization or company like that before, especially as it pertains to cryptocurrency. But when something massive happens like that, you don't exactly know what just happened, right? You don't know if it's a glitch. You don't know if it's a server error. You have no clue what's going on. So to just jump out there and say we've been hacked, he didn't know they'd been hacked. They had no clue, right? They had to piece all the funds together, right? They had to piece all the pieces together, and that happened within a couple hours. And then they came out and said, okay, listen, we've done some analysis. This is what happened. So that's nonsense as far as I'm concerned. Market's still pushing strongly, especially Bitcoin. Alts are having continuing their pullback. I don't want to say more of a significant pullback, just continuing their overall pullback. Alts have been in a bearish trend for quite a while now. We've seen some random pumps, some random dumps, as we always do in cryptocurrency. But as far as a sustained trend to the upside or the downside, something that you're just going to hop into and be fairly bullish across the board in altcoins, we're not in that. We haven't been in that for a while, right? Long-term swing positions should have been gotten out of a long time ago, just as I've said for a while now. And public figures, so our millionaires, our billionaires, still pushing for confidence in the market. So this is, and all of this occurring right before we hit that psychological level of 6,000, which it seems we're almost bound to do at this point in time. So this market strength could prove to be a key factor. Bitcoin might be about to show us that it has more strength than we had previously ascertained. It might be possible that the bear market is over. It might be possible, right? We see that Bitcoin has almost had very little bearish reaction to this Binance hack news. Is the bear market over? However, this is exactly what it feels like, similarly, when we're reaching the end of a market cycle of a significant correction in an overall bearish trend. This is exactly what it feels like, right? Uncertainty, hope, aspiration, dreams. The end is over. All the shorts are getting wrecked. And we're going to look at some of the fundamental data metrics. And, listen. Let's remain emotionally neutral about all of this, all right? We need to keep a sober headspace about us. We need to protect our capital first and foremost if you're an active trader in this space, and be very aware that we are entering into a very chaotic setup, all right? Of course, toward the end of the first hour, we will be taking chart requests, so get your coins ready that you'd like us to look at. I will do my best to perform my best technical analysis on your requests. And I want to thank over about 500 people watching us across YouTube and Twitch. So shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for your support and joining us. Who do I see in the chat? Let's scroll up here just a little bit. DIY guy, good to see you. Jurgen Ernst. Let's see here. Who else do we got in here this good morning? You guys were just in here chit-chatting, keeping it going before the show. And of course, I like to be nice, strong, on time, and early today. Mr. Ether, good to see you, my good man. Jasper, Philip Tudor, Johnny Valentine, Moneymaker, Michael Weston, Scott, good to see you in there as well. Funds are Safu on Binance. Turd Ferguson, good to see you, my good friend. When was now? MT Coiner, Cruise CIT, Crypto Caveman, Molia76. All right. Mufad P, Chris Lejambe, Dino Rex Gaming HD, Crypto Kitty, Frank Wolftown, Heel Wilson, Unknown Now, Minister C Politics, good to see you as well. Nerd Robert, asleep at the wheel. Hopefully you're not asleep at the wheel and driving very fast. MV, good to see you guys. All right, excellent. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. We're going to cover some controversial topics today. We're going to cover some controversial things. This is obviously something that tends to split individuals. Of course, we've got altcoiners, we've got Bitcoiners, we've got bulls, we've got bears, and everything in between. So, obviously, don't claw and tear at each other in the chat. Just try to be respectful, reasonable, and I'll talk this all out. AKMK, thank you so much for the subscription on YouTube, my good friend. Welcome to the community. All right. So let's start off with Bitcoin today. All right. So still not an active position. Let's go down to the lower time frames and talk about some interesting things that we did notice. All right. So let's go to the daily. Let's go to the daily right here. And we can see these, we can see this this equals shelf right here, all right? With this candle body closed, obviously the next candle is going to open at that same area. But whenever you have a good candle close like that, that price is going to interact with, you're looking for support and resistance flip. Again, typically we're looking for stronger levels, or we're looking for order blocks, or we're looking for breakers. However, again, you can always use candle body closes. I do not like to use wicks. I will use wicks on lower time frames to see price trade above. So for example, if we have a wick and we're looking for price to break a certain level of resistance and we're looking for a short trade to the upside or to the downside. So if you identify that wick on a higher time frame, for example, here's this wick right here on the daily chart. So you could plot a horizontal ray stretching over to the right, and then you could look down on the 15-minute, the 30-minute, the hour. And when you see a lower time frame candle close above that, then you can look for either a BPC pullback breakout trade, or you could initiate a trade right away. All right, that's a good way of taking a breakout trade when you're looking for price to interact. However, in general, when we're looking for stronger signals, we're looking for price to convincingly close above candle body support and resistance. Okay, so in this example right here, we had this is our original rejection zone right here. Also, this is our bullish order block. Our bullish breaker now, because it was a bearish order block. Why is it a bearish order block? Because it was the last green candle before a significant rejection and a pullback and a break in market structure, because before that, market structure had been moving to the upside. So this represents a bullish breaker now that it has been closed above without significant resistance. So we look to buy pullbacks into that zone until it's disrespected, at which point it becomes a bearish breaker. All right, very simple way to trade. Okay, so we also had this candle body closing level of resistance. Now, sorry. I just did all that explanation of the bullish breaker when that's actually not the candlestick pattern that I was talking about. I was talking about this right here. So you have these equidistant candle body closes right here. So we were looking after price had that pullback after the, after whatever you want to call it, the FUD. We did have a little bit of a significant reaction, but not overall dramatic, not a dramatic shift in market structure, right? You had what could have potentially been a shooting star candle, or a gravestone, not a gravestone doji, but an evening star candle on the daily time frame, potentially a shooting star pattern. That would have been confirmed had the daily opened and closed below yesterday's candle. Did it not? No. It pulled back down to those levels and then reclaimed them. So to understand what I'm talking about, let's go to the hourly. And we're going to go ahead and let's just draw a ray. And let's draw a ray right here, right? So that was the level that I was kind of keeping my eye on. So go into the hourly, and here's that ray right there. All right, so here we are yesterday. All right, this is 3 o'clock in the morning. We're around noon. This was yesterday's show. And this was this was right toward the end. I want to say this is a little bit, no, this was, where are we at right here? Yeah, so this was right at the end of yesterday's show. Everybody said, hey, Bitcoin's dumping. This candle ended up closing the hourly, actually quite constructively. Had another push, tapped this equidistant high right here. Not a liquidity grab, but again, just a push for more liquidity before taking the more significant movement to the downside, right around 6 p.m. CDT, right, my time. And we can see right here that it did actually close the hourly below that level, but then what did it do on the very next candle? Put in a very bullish hammer candle, and then price reclaimed that horizontal ray, right? As we can see on the hourly time frame right here, that was the daily level. So we're going down to the hourly to watch that level. And we can see that price closed below it, but then immediately reclaimed, not only reclaimed, but BPC'd it. It broke, it pulled back, and then it continued, right? So this would have been an excellent opportunity to enter into a long position, at least in the short term, targeting a zone up here in our bearish order block, right? Looking to take profit around that upper 59, potentially that lower $6,000 level as well. Currently, we're looking at an hourly time transformation sell signal. I haven't gotten a lot of follow through on it yet, so we'll keep our eyes on this yet. What I'm actually interested in seeing is as we can see here on the hourly time frame, we can see this high, we can see this level of resistance that was formed right here, and then we can see this level of support that was formed right here, okay? So this becomes another critical level in the market, at least in the short term. Vic NG, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. Welcome to the community, my good friend. So we're looking for that support resistance flip. We're looking for that BPC, right? All the time. So what has price done? We have that same level of support that again turned into resistance, as we can see right here, turned into resistance here. Price broke above it. You could consider this a pullback right here. You could consider this a pullback, but again, I like to see all components of the candle, the low and the low close. Close above So the low and the low and the close. I like to see both of those levels above my level of support to consider that a true BPC. That means that liquidity, the order book, has stacked up in that area, and basically Gandalf is standing there saying, "You shall not pass." That's what I really like to see if I'm going to take a breakout trade to the upside. All right, so we are potentially seeing that right now. So if this level holds, potentially a good opportunity to take yet another BPC upside trade to the upside, looking for that long, all right? Because as we can see, what was the price action signal that you could have entered into a long on this trade? Charting that daily level of previous candle body resistance, right? Which you're looking to break above, the pullback for support, and then appreciation. Now, you're not going to be able to catch these moves on the daily time frame, and that's absolutely fine. Again, remember, guys, what I'm teaching everybody to do in my course and in the premium trading group is not necessarily what I'm showing you right now, because this is, you need to develop a baseline strategy that will allow you to capture larger movements in the market before you look to focus on this. Why? Because if you're new to trading, or if you've been trading for a while and you're not getting the results that you want, you need to forget everything that you think you know, and you need to go back to basics. And again, it's not a basic course that I'm teaching. I don't know anybody that teaches individuals how to trade in the way that I do. Everybody wants to talk about what I'm talking about right now and act like it is a necessarily superior way to trade. Over time, after you have, now see, the only reason that I'm even interested in talking about stuff like this is because I already take all larger time frame signals that my higher time frame strategy gives me, okay? And I am a confident, consistent, profitable trader. I don't need to worry necessarily about these smaller time frames because I don't need the movements, all right? You don't need the movements. You can be very profitable and consistent and be a winning trader trading on the higher time frames and looking for those larger pronounced movements and focusing on your money management and capital preservation. That's it. And that's what I'm teaching individuals to do. I am teaching individuals in my course and in my group how to build that baseline of profitability. And once they have that baseline of profitability and they've developed their if this then that strategy, then what they can then proceed to do from there is focus on aspects like this, such as price action trading or price action analysis, if they would like to supplement their trading with more activity, all right? They can split their capital between two accounts. They can have a long-term account and a short-term scalping account. That's absolutely fine. There are easy ways to balance your risk and manage your capital in this type of situation. And it also gives us something to talk about every day, guys. And again, this information is actionable if you are preserving your capital and taking the correct amount of risk on. So what are we looking for here? A potential BPC. If we see price hold above this level, there is a potential for another movement to the upside. We do need to be a little bit of we do need to be a little cautious. Obviously, our hourly time frames are oversold. However, I want to point out to you the last time we got the hourly sell signal on time transformation. You want to be very careful. Now, I want to make this very clear. There are three different strategies when using an oscillator like time transformation, using an indicator like time transformation. And what I've actually done with my new indicator, BitMEX, is I've defined this in the settings window. So if we open up the settings window for time transformation, we can see all the different settings that you have available to you. However, with BitMEX, and what I'm going to go back and redo with time transformation, I'm going to upgrade it to this new level of understanding to make it easier for the trader. There are three types of trades. There are trend following trades in all their different variations and variety. There are raw reversal trades, meaning you are trading against the dominant trend. You are trying to capture the top or the bottom of a market, right? Regardless of what the trend is, because in general, if the trend is bullish, if the higher time frame trend is bullish, and you are trying to short sell, then you are by definition trading against the market. You are looking for a raw reversal signal. You are trying to predict that the market will turn here and that potentially the trend will shift to the downside. Or you're doing something like a reversion to the mean, which isn't necessarily a type of trade. It's a type of strategy in the realm of raw reversal. Because a reversion to the mean trade is a raw reversal trade, right? You are looking, so for example, you have a moving average, or you have a VWAP, or you have a baseline, and whenever price gets far enough away from that average of price, you would expect equilibrium and gravity to pull it back, right? So this is where you're going to be. Reversion to mean strategies are generally profitable. They're risky, and most individuals who are beginner traders don't have the luck and success with them that they would like. And this is why, again, I don't recommend that individuals start down this path of trying to trade raw reversals. There's a third type of trade, however, that I think is one of the best setups, and that is reversals within the trend, right? So this is where you already have an established dominant trend and price is coming back down to support, and you're looking to take a reversal trade in that fashion, right? You're looking for basically a retest of support, looking for a reversal signal to the buy side, and the higher time frames are already bullish, and you're looking to continue on in the bullish trend, right? That is generally, and also this is also known as, you could put this in the realm of trend following strategies as a continuation entry. That's fine. I like to delineate it in my mind and in my teaching. So anyways, looking for that 58.50 level to hold as support. Should price close down below that, obviously the next level that becomes important is 57.66. Again, you can take a short-term movement down to 57.66 if you so desire. Overall, and again, Da Vinci pointing this out quite well. I'm looking closely. Da Vinci is looking at the $5,700 level to go short on Bitcoin, looking for that absolute failure. I actually do need to see a break of the daily EMA, or I need to see a more significant bearish reaction from our bearish order block, because remember, we are trading directly into the higher time frame bearish breaker, right? So this was a bullish order block, because we can see that this level was just bought up. And again, ignore the top box for right now, but let's talk about the bottom box, which is going to be right here. And that bottom box stretches, as I've said before, from 57.66. I apologize. From I guess you could just make the argument that it's 58.50. Yeah, 58.50 now, because I did move the lineup from 58.50 to 61.53. Excuse me. That is the daily bearish breaker. Why? Because this was a bullish order block. So if we go back to June 2018, we can see that that zone is the true body, is not the true body, but the closing body basis of the lowest candle. That forms a block, all right? That forms a block in my strategy. We can see that once that is formed, because this is the last down candle before a significant shift in market structure, this is the lowest that we went down and the price began moving up. That's a shift in market structure. And then we just look to buy back any returns to that area. And we can see that it worked out quite well here. Price appreciated. We can see that it worked out quite well here. Price appreciated. We can see that it worked out well here. Price appreciated. And then what is your confirmation that you are shifting trend and that is now a level of resistance and that you should be looking for trades? You want to be looking for other confirmations rather than just your breaker just got broke. That's not actually an initiation signal, because these are levels of support and resistance. They're not actually initiation or entry or exit signals. They're just zones. But you close here, obviously on that 13th of November candle, you close below your bullish breaker, and that invalidates any pullbacks into that area. And now it becomes a bearish breaker. It turns from a bullish order block into a bearish breaker, whereas bearish order blocks become bullish breakers when closed above. You're looking for a candle body close, preferably on higher time frame, to close through that zone with little to no resistance, and then anything that retreats back into that zone, you take in the opposite direction. So now whereas you were going long from that block, now you are looking to go short. All right, so obviously Bitcoin's price has done everything that it's done in the interim, and where do we find ourselves coming back up to for the first test? Of the bearish breaker, because we didn't backpedal, we didn't backtest. The bears were too strong. We dropped in November. We did not pull back to retest that zone as resistance, and this is actually our first test of the resistance bearish order block. Now, I want to point something out. Let's think about the fundamentals here. We have news coming out that one of the largest exchanges was hacked for over $40 million, and the Bitcoin market didn't necessarily tank. It got bought right back up and continued on its slow and steady grind upwards. Grinding into resistance is typically quite bullish. Now, we have talked at length previously about the tinfoil hat reasons for Bitcoin's continued price appreciation. Bitfinex potentially using Tether to push the price of Bitcoin up on its exchange. There's even some theories that Binance is responsible itself for this hack to sell this, and this is how deep the rabbit hole goes, to sell the Bitcoin that they stole from themselves, what they really stole from customers, OTC, and move the USD that they got from that sale over to Kraken to buy back USDT to prop the price up of Tether, because Bitfinex is relying on the price of Tether not falling into the ground to support their operations. So, but what we have to understand is that until we know something, all of that's just speculation. All we have is the chart. And more importantly, for a technical trader, the chart is all we'll ever need, because the chart tells us what the market is actually doing in reaction to the news and fundamentals, as opposed to what any talking head, even myself, may say price should or might do based on their subjective interpretation of that news or fundamentals. Current price is king. Price tells you what is going on. Speculation tells you what might happen, and what we understand about the market is that it's fundamentally unpredictable in nature. As Mark Douglas says in his book, Trading in the Zone, the market can express itself in an almost infinite amount of possible ways, and every moment in the market is unique, right? There's nobody out there who knows whether price is going to go up or down. If there was such a method to determine for sure, absolutely, which way price is going to go, then everybody would be doing this. So, and something else that I'm very keen of saying and fond of saying is that you never want to be the guy calling the top of the market in a bullish trend. Again, you can't predict the future, or the bottom of the market in a bearish trend. The failure rate is simply too high. It's always much safer to wait for that bearish or bullish reaction from the predictive level. So drawing support and resistance is all well and good, but unless you get a reaction from that level that supports your trading thesis, then your level's invalidated and you were wrong, right? And you have to be comfortable with being wrong because being a trader and being profitable in this space has little to nothing to do with being right. Little to nothing to do with being right. Again, there's a random distribution between wins and losses. The goal of a trader is to design a system that's profitable over time. And to do that, you have to accept the chaotic nature of the market, the unpredictable nature of the market. You have to accept that you will never know whether price is going to go up or go down. You will never know on any individual trade whether you're right or wrong. In fact, you have to embrace the fact that it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, because that is the biggest psychological barrier in your way to success, is your own mind, your own fear, your own doubt, or your own vanity and ego. Neither will serve you well in this space. All right, so let's get back down to these lower timeframes. We've basically talked about exactly what we're looking at today. On the lower timeframes, we do see, Bitcoin holding that 5850 level quite nice and appreciating quite nicely. All right, we do need to pay attention. Our first caution zone is going to be these equal highs at 5970. Obviously, whenever we have a level on the chart that has equal highs, we want to be on the we want to be aware for stop loss zones and liquidation zones, and we want to be aware because if the market is going to reverse, directly above those levels are likely areas for the market to reverse and put in a bullish trend. So let's see how this shakes out. I'd like to see a couple hours of consolidation, see this level hold, potentially even see a spring back below. That would be the best for me. If we actually trade below this level briefly and then reclaim it, BPC it, and then push up, I think a trade to 5970 at the very least on the intraday time frame would be quite attractive. So we do have a 1.5% potential trade open from current price action. And what is your stop loss? An hourly close below 5850, quite nice. And then you re-enter if price goes back above 5850. Very simple. A very clean chart today for Bitcoin. Very easy. I want to give a thank you to the 600 people watching us across YouTube and Twitch. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button and the notification bell if you have not already. If you enjoy this content, we are here, of course, live every day from noon to 2 Central Daylight Time, Monday through Friday, and 5 to 7 on the weekends. All right, come on, Bitcoin. Show me how powerful you can be. Let's go take a look at the volume. Right, and yeah, we can see that on that bearish reaction candle, there was almost no volume. And one thing that I do want to point out, let's actually go to something like the 3 hour. Go to something like the 3 hour, and take a look here. So we do have some we do have some decent bearish volume here on the sell-off. And we are reclaiming that bullish volume now, right? This candle, the volume on this candlestick was almost at our moving average of volume. This candlestick will likely close the moving average of volume. Potentially, it has 30 minutes left to do such a thing. And here we see that nice 3 hour open and close above that level of resistance at 5850, fully trading back into the bearish order block now. So our initial rejection from the bearish, from the bearish breaker, right? I want to make sure I use the right terms. From the bearish breaker and now trading back into it, grinding slowly into that level of resistance, quite bullish. Of course, as always, we want to be careful and on the lookout for an SFP, where anytime that we formed a swing high and then rejected and formed a swing low, we're always cautious about forming a lower high and then trading lower than that swing low. That is a classic SFP, swing failure pattern, looking for that bearish setup. But I would say right now, until that happens, price actually looks pretty healthy and constructive for the intraday, at least for today. Going to the higher time frames, what are we looking at? Going to the higher time frames, we're just on red alert, guys. We've been in something like a 5-month uptrend, okay? A 5-month uptrend. And I know a lot of us have lost that sinking feeling in the pit of our stomachs of how it feels to wake up every day and know that Bitcoin's price is lower and that shit is fucked and that, we don't know if price is going to go back up. And a lot of us have forgotten how uncomfortable it feels. A lot of us have gotten very cozy. A lot of us have gotten very comfortable because we've been in a powerful bullish trend for the last 5 months. But I have a strong inkling that we are going to revisit those feelings once again. I am not convinced that the bear market is over. I am not convinced that we are going to break 6,000 in a strong and convincing way. Now, am I predicting am I trying to predict what's going to happen insofar as the positions that I'm putting on? Absolutely not. That would be foolish. But what I am trying to point out is that I need to, and you should as well, keep a sober headspace about you, regardless of how passionate or enthusiastic you are about Bitcoin. preserve your capital, be safe, and wait for a high probability setup. Taking a long and expecting prices like 8,000 or 9,000 or 7,000, for example, when we're testing resistance for the first time since the breakdown from November, is dangerous. We've had a very good run. We've had a very good run up to this point. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Secure your profits on your long trades. Move your stop losses to a level where you will be in profit should the worst case scenario happen, and just be prepared for the next direction that the market is going to go. All right. Let's see here. Daily time frame. We are trading. The Wadatar is trading above the explosion level, so it is confirming any signal that time transformation would give us. Time transformation, of course, gave us the confirmation on the long on this candle right here, confirming the long on this candle. We would not have been able to get in at that point in time. One candle later would have gotten us in because we do trade above the explosion level there. So right there, we would have been in quite nicely. However, what we do have to remember is that our original long entry signal would have been here on the close of this candle. Let's see. Yep, everything does line up as well. Would have been in this trade right here, out here, waiting, potentially in here, wait, in here. Yep, we're in the long here. All the stars align on this candle right here on the 9th of February for the long trade. Then entry here and a re-entry here on this candle, 28th of March. That would have really been our big daddy right there. And we would have taken profits here, BPC, or excuse me, not a BPC, but a retest of support, and take profit, reclamation in right here, or again, potentially right here. So because we're already in a bullish trend, you can be more, in the strategy that I teach, you can be a little bit more relaxed with your entry. You only need 2 out of 3 confirmations if you've already entered into the bullish trend unit. You don't need the whole enchilada, right? And keep in mind, there's actually 7 confirmations. But a lot of these indicators that I have am using on the chart from my personal strategy are performing double duty, because not only are they measuring price action, they're also measuring momentum, or they're measuring volume, or they're measuring volatility, if you know how to use them properly. So, okay. Let's get over to Ethereum. Let's get over to the chart of Ethereum. Again, I think the chart on Ethereum looks quite clean, looks quite easy for exactly what we want to see. This is actually quite a constructive looking chart in my opinion. We have our bearish order block, which is where we rejected. This is our last up candle before rejecting. We have our bullish order block right here. Actually a bullish breaker, that bullish breaker was formed here. And we can see that it got bought up on the pullback. Also the vicinity of our 55 daily exponential moving average, quite constructive, quite healthy. We butted up against the 13, our daily baseline for resistance at first, and reclaimed it on this candle right here. Held on the pullback. Again, this level right here also becomes, actually this needs to be changed because this is now, take a look, let's look close look at this, Okay, so this is a bullish order block. You can see that the bullish order block held, became a bearish breaker, broke, and is now a bullish breaker. So this actually needs to be green, All right, so we have 2 bullish breakers in the vicinity of both our daily baseline and our secondary daily baseline on the daily time frame for Ethereum. Obviously, looking at the Coinbase chart, we did reject from a bearish order block on the first pass through, but what are we doing? We're holding a higher low. We are holding the daily baseline. Volume was quite good on the movement to the upside. Volume is quite weak on this candle, and we are potentially putting in a daily bullish candle. All right, strong buyback on the retest of the daily SMA, or excuse me, of the daily EMA. Looking at Wadatar, it's not quite confirming the trending long yet, but again, as we're already in somewhat of a as we already are in a bullish trend, then we can be a little bit more lax, only looking for 2 out of 3. All right, so time transformation would have told us to be in the long on this candle right here, because we are reclaiming the daily baseline and time transformation is above the 0 line. So that's 2 out of 3. We don't need Wadatar to necessarily confirm in that state. We need Wadatar to confirm if we're moving from bearish to bullish, right? But not necessarily if we're looking for a continuation trade in a bullish trend already. Okay, so let's do something else here, and let's actually take the indicators off, and let's do a little bit of stuff that I absolutely hate, but we'll do it just for funsies. And we'll actually look at the overall pattern. Oh. All right, so I don't like that. See, that one seems a little too conservative to me because I feel like that's a break in market structure. And you can just see why. Okay, so what I'm showing you right now, before you laugh, this is why these kind of structures are bullshit, right? Everybody likes to draw these long-term trend lines. Everybody likes to draw these, really nice falling wedges and breakings and blah blah blahs. They're so subjective. I mean, what do you know? And again, before you run to the gun and say, "But Justin, you just connect the lower candle wicks, you just connect the candle bodies," right? That's cool. But I'm going to hear a different thing from 50 different people. Okay, and all I know is that I've back tested all of these patterns because I've back tested thousands upon thousands of different systems, strategies, chart patterns, candlestick analysis, indicators, mostly a lot of indicators. And there's no statistical advantage to trading chart patterns, right? If you're drawing trend lines on a chart, you're not doing anything. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't get profitable trades out of it. Again, I have people in our circle that do trade chart patterns, and they're quite successful. My point is, they are succeeding with all the odds stacked against them, which really must mean that they're just supermen. But my point is, the majority of traders, this type of method does not give them any edge in the market whatsoever. So, anyways. So let's just do our best. Let's just go back here and do our absolute best here. So let's just do it the old-fashioned board. All right, so this looks pretty good. Not having a lot of interaction with this. What this would tell you is that price needs to drop. I don't even like doing this, man, because I'm not. Why am I doing this? Because I don't even trade this way, right? It's nonsense. Ethereum's in an uptrend, guys. You only need the exponential moving average to tell you that. Okay. Look at where price is in relation to our daily baseline and our secondary daily baseline. Look where it is in relation to our bullish breakers and bearish breakers. I tried to do it, guys. I really did. I really tried to draw like a triangle or something on there, and I just couldn't, man. I just couldn't. I don't have the patience to sit here and try to give credence or credit to something that I don't fundamentally believe in. So why am I going to try to express that information, guys? Okay. So anyways, what am I looking for? If the daily candle closes like this, I will potentially be looking for a long to take this quite higher. I don't really see, especially if we break our now again, technically you want to be waiting for the close or some close above the above our bearish breaker right here. Now you can use lower time frames, as I just pointed out with Bitcoin, for example. So if you come down to the hourly and you do see the hourly close above, pull back and retest. You could even by all rights use 174.90, 175 if you wanted to, because that is the lower end of support. So that would be a reclamation of a support level that turned resistance, as we can see right here, the vicinity rejecting. Alternatively, if we do end up closing below that daily baseline, then we're not looking for longs. We're being very cautious. We're looking for pullbacks to take shorts, again, until price returns. The whole point of this is filtering out losses, guys. Filtering out losses until a strong trend emerges, and then we can continue to take trends in the direction of the trend over and over. Again, you need to be cautious with being the guy who wants to call the top in the bull market and the bottom in the bear market. All right, so shout out to now the almost 900 people watching us across YouTube and Twitch. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell if you guys have not already. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And also make sure you come over to Twitch and give us a follow or a subscription on there. Again, we stream every day, 12 to 2 and 5 to 7 CDT. Excuse me, 12 to 2 Monday through Friday and 5 to 7 on the weekends. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for the support. I turned the gain down on the microphone also, so hopefully you guys aren't hearing like the gadong, when I set my glass down, because I know a lot of people were complaining about that. All right, now moving on. Let's take a quick break from the charts. We will get back over to the live scene right here. And what we'll do is we'll scroll to the chat here. We'll go through the chat, do a little bit of chat engagement, and then we'll get into the news. All right. Title of the stream has a typo. I wouldn't be surprised. I was the one who wrote it. Oh, yeah. It's Binanasi. Yeah. Let's see here. I can fix that. Fixed. Oh, wait. Gotta wait. All changes saved. Back over to the live control room. Cracking Crypto Crew CIT says, hello, friend. Now we have Bitfinex and Binance. They want to reorg. Are they made? Bitcoin is something no one can control, but they can manipulate it. Yes, you're absolutely correct, man. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by the front half of that. Yeah, obviously Binance and Bitfinex would have a financial incentive to be able to roll back the blockchain. But again, you have to look at the collateral damage that would cause, because that would be destructive for the Bitcoin ecosystem in totality. That would be quite destructive. Let's see here. Crypto Caveman says, what's up, bro? Good to see you. What's going on with these exchanges? I transferred funds off Bitfinex to Binance, and then Binance gets hacked. WTF. It just goes on and on and on. Do you think it's a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that you have a lot of people moving their funds off Bitfinex? If they're going to be moving their funds off Bitfinex to some exchange, where would they potentially be moving those funds? Do you think Bitfinex, hit up CZ and was like, yo, man, you see how all these people are like migrating off our platform to yours? You want to go ahead and just cop their money for us? Again, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because, for example, right, I run a business, and if a competitor's customers all of a sudden mass drove over to my company, which would be beneficial for my company and my employees, then if they called me and we were buddies and they're like, hey, will you steal all your new customers' funds, which will probably be with you for a long time, and give them back to us? We're not good enough friends. I don't think it doesn't seem like there's any good enough friends for that. All right, getting back over to Twitch. I apologize, man. Good to see you, brother. VICNG says, Justin, with Bitcoin shorts being so high, do you think there's any chance Bitcoin can even pull back at all? Came over from YouTube to drop a follow. You should stream to DLive as well. MT Coiner, thank you so much. I don't know if I'm missing the alerts. Sometimes I have to restart my Streamlabel session. I should stream to DLive as well. I've thought about it. We need to create our own in-house server. Vic and G says, seems like the majority always loses. So do I think there's any chance that Bitcoin can even pull back at all? To the downside? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Again, I'm not, I'm not convinced. This is exactly the psychological feelings that we're all having right now, that it's impossible for, some of us are starting to believe that it's impossible for Bitcoin's price to pull back, that the bear market is officially over. It could be, but this is exactly what it feels like at the end of a market cycle. So we need to keep a sober headspace about us and just trade our system, just trade our setup. It doesn't matter, honestly, guys, as a trader, it doesn't matter if Bitcoin's at 6K or 10K or 30K or 10K or $1, right? It doesn't. As a trader, you take the setups that your strategy gives you and you design your strategy from the ground up to be profitable. And you just take the signal. You have a mechanical, if this, then that rule-based strategy. And that is how you stay out of all the noise. This is how you filter out all the nonsense, because all you need is your chart and your rules. And then once you have that baseline of profitability, you can get into some more advanced, and I don't even like saying that, like this is basic and this is advanced. No, it's just different, right? There are professional, profitable traders like myself who only trade if this, then that strategies. It's not like, oh, that's basic, bitch, and then once you're good, then you move into intuitive, subjective trading. No. Some people trade that way and some people don't. And I think that the majority of traders who come in to the space and try to trade initially that subjective, intuitive way, because they just think they're intelligent. They've read a couple Wikipedia articles. They've read a couple, they went through baby pips. They're ready to go. No, I mean, you guys do not probably have the intuitive sense of equilibrium, psychological discipline, patience, or money management skills necessary to scalp, to day trade, to trade subjectively, to trade price action. Probably don't. And this is why the majority of traders don't get the results that they want at the end of the year when they look at their equity curve or when they file their taxes, right? Whereas if the majority of individuals started off in the right position, building an if this then that strategy, focusing on the higher time frames, focusing on technical indicators, they would do much better. They would do much better. They would build that baseline of profitability, and then they could go wherever they wanted. That's what I'm teaching individuals how to do in the course. If you guys would like to be involved in that teaching, you can of course check the link at the top of the screen, premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. Love to have you in there. Let's see. Molia76 says, take a look at ARK. Very big announcement. Let's put ARK on the schedule, and we'll look at that in just a second. How funny would it be if Binance implemented DigiID after their terrible treatment of Digibyte? They were saying, I was reading in those comments that they were like, oh, what's up with DGB? Can we get DGB listed? Blah, 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 blah. Asleep at the wheel says, so yeah, that would be interesting. The Nerd Robert says, every electronic we use, every chip has a backdoor. Not everyone, but yes. So broadly speaking, yes, you're absolutely right. There is no SAFU. CryptoKitty says, I heard from Jacob Canfield that 5,200 Bitcoin have been captured on other exchanges. I believe in CZ. My funds are heart, thumbs up, winky face. Well, listen, I hope so. We'll actually break down some of those fundamentals here in just a little bit. What's up, bro? Minister C Politics. Krish Lajembe says, crypto shitcoin and exchange purge upon us. November 2020 reset. Whoop, whoop. People need to stop speculating about the hack. For a huge exchange like Binance to say it's an inside job is ridiculous. Haters gonna hate, man. CZ said he won't do the rollback. Right, I know he said that, but the fact that he came out cavalierly, all cavalier and shit, and said, let's do a rollback. That lets you know where his mind and his head's at. Mr. Theo Thurg, thank you, or Mr. The Other G, or Mr. Theo Thurg, not sure how to pronounce that, but thank you so much for the subscription on YouTube, my good friend. CryptoKitty says, Bitcoin's in. Honey Badger, has the bear trap begun? Essentially. Bitcoin's still going up? Yes, it is. Thank you, sponsor. Yes, very much appreciated for those who like to support the show. Of course, if you guys would like to support the show, thumbs up, subscribe. You can come over to Twitch and give us a subscription as well. MT Coiner, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch, my good man. Hacks to cover missing crypto and exchanges, fake volumes, House of Cards falling. Okay, now you're getting a little out there for me, man. If Binance will return the coins, according to CZ's Safu comment, where will Binance acquire those coins? It would imply coins worth 7,000 Bitcoin bidding up the market. Ooh, that is a very good point. So they have the funds on their exchange, or excuse me, they have the funds. So what Binance did back in July is they started taking 10% of all trading fees and putting them in the SAFU fund for situations such as this. Now, it's rumored that they have about $2 billion in that fund. Of course, there's no third-party audit or anything like that. But again, he says they have plenty of funds in the SAFU fund, and they will be using those funds to recover the stolen Bitcoin. Now, of course, this is not just as easy as moving USD from one bank account to another. You're right. They have to return the Bitcoin because it was Bitcoin that was stolen. So where is the 7,000 Bitcoin coming from? Well, it would be bought OTC. I would imply. I understand what you're saying. It seems that you would be implying that there's going to be $40 million worth of volume that are going to be bidding up to purchase 7,000 Bitcoins. Would be extremely bullish, and potentially that's what people are reacting to or thinking about. But I highly doubt that Binance is going to incur the slippage or the stress or the BS of buying 7,000 Bitcoin on an exchange. They would buy it OTC. Is it a good idea to short Tether? I think you'd be a little late to the party, bro. What are my thoughts on Engine Coin? It's one of those few coins that I actually think is pretty nifty. I think Engine Coin's pretty neat for what they want to do. Obviously, the Samsung announcement is pretty big news. It's pretty strong, man. When is the bear market ending? When there have been more buyers than sellers. I mean, bear market is a meme, right? There's bearish trends and bullish trends even within a market, right? So for me, even though I think this is a meme because again, it doesn't matter as a trader, but when is the bear market over? The bear market is over when we've opened and closed a weekly candle. Here's the memes, right? So here's the list of memes, and then I'll tell you what I'm really looking for. So some people will say when we open and close a weekly candle above above 6,000. Okay. Some people will say if we close 2 monthly candles above the 21 exponential moving average on the monthly chart. Some people will say if we break above 6,000 and have a BPC. That's what I'd like to see. Ideally, I'd like to see the bearish breaker be invalidated, the daily bearish breaker be invalidated, and then have a BPC. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see a close on the daily time frame above the bearish breaker, and then a pullback, holding as support, and then a push-up. That's what I'd like to see. Or potentially, if Trump comes out and tweets that that Bitcoin is going to be the future currency of the United States, bear market's over. Social Box 22, what's going on, my good man? I'm afraid to log into my Binance account for fear of seeing my funds gone, and also the safety of logging in now. Any ideas? CZ said to change two-factor authentication. So they have withdrawals and deposits. They have withdrawals and deposits frozen, and they are purportedly going to be covering all funds. I don't think, again, I'm not a security expert, but I'll give you my best opinion. I logged into my Binance account. Right? I logged into my Binance account. My funds did not appear to be affected. So hurrah, hurrah, hooray. However, I don't think that there's any imminent. Again, I'm hearing some different things from some different people, but I didn't change my password. You have to remember that. So I was not personally affected by this attack. Okay, and I had funds on Binance. I have funds on Binance, right? I can't withdraw them. I can't deposit anything. I can still trade, but and I'm in a couple active trades. But my point is, I did change my two-factor authentication code, and I am recommending that people do that. Okay, it's a potential that there are still some vulnerabilities. I know some people are saying that you shouldn't change it right now. Again, I don't see what the point of that is. It seems to me that from what we're seeing, it seems that the majority of this was a large-scale phishing attack. At least that is the claim. Large-scale phishing, viruses, malware infecting individuals' computers. They obviously targeted in specifically high net worth of individuals. And I would actually bet that, man, shorts are really going wild right now. Shorts are actually going. I would actually bet, because this was an article and this was a facet that I was covering for a while, is the fact that North Korea and other countries of that ilk are actively targeting Asian, East Asian, and European, but more specifically East Asian, high net worth individuals for malware infection. I mean, targeted campaigns. Warehouses full of individuals with computers who are sponsored by the government, whose job is to hack, infect, steal, phish high net worth individuals. So just keep in mind, there is a system, there is a strategic system out there that is trying to steal your money all the time. Make sure, and this is exactly what I recommended to the premium members last night, this is a good opportunity for you to do a general security audit, okay? So here's what I recommend doing, because this is what I like to do every once in a while. And if you haven't done it in a while, this is a good opportunity to do so. Is your email and password secure for each exchange? Do not use your personal email, and do not use the same email for all your exchange accounts. If you have an account on Binance, go and register a new unique email address for that exchange account. Make sure you have two-factor authentication on your email and your exchange. Don't click on fucking links that are sent to you. Period. Make sure you have good antivirus software on your computer. I recommend EmsaSoft. Okay, it's quite good. And if you guys would like to, again, I'm not the security expert. Scott is. If you guys would like some more information on that, Scott offers a antivirus security solution. You guys can hit him up in the DM or check out revivaltechrepair.com. Make sure that you're using a good, strong password. Again, I've cautioned, I know that the common way is you need to use these long, random character syllables, uppercase, lowercase, numbers, symbols. Nobody remembers those, and you always copy and paste them. Strings of 5 to 6 words separated by symbols are actually easy to remember and harder to dictionary attack anyways, okay? So that's what I recommend doing. I don't recommend, one, exclamation mark, QX, capital R, 97, apostrophe, down, comma, comma, comma. That's, you're going to end up copy pasting that password anyways every single time you log in, because you're never going to remember that. And that leaves you vulnerable to a clipboard attack. right? So if your computer gets infected with malware, your clipboard can be copied and analyzed and modified, right? Not modified. Yeah, modified actually, because that was a very common hacking attempt was the clipboard attack. So when there was malware that would see when you were pasting, it would see when you would copy a Bitcoin address and when you would paste it. And when you would paste the Bitcoin address, it would swap your clipboard out for the hacker's Bitcoin address. So, whenever you thought you were sending funds somewhere, because the sad reality is most people don't double and triple check the address once they do a transaction. So make sure that you have your two-factor authentication turned on. Make sure that you have a unique email address associated with each exchange account. Again, don't have one email address for all your different exchanges. If that's not how you have it set up right now, take the time now, or maybe wait a week or two until whatever you can log in and everything's fine. And they're like, yeah, everything's Safu. But make a point to do that. At least you can do it on your other exchanges besides Binance, because what's the odds you're only trading on Binance? But make sure you have it set up, because if you set it up right the first time, your propensity to be attacked is going to be much smaller. Okay. Johnny Valentine says 5,300 Bitcoin are in addresses monitored, and 1,774 Bitcoin were spread across exchanges. That's correct. VICNG, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Ardor blasting off. Is that ARD? Cosmos news coming. Check out Adam. Why is Bitcoin up after the bad news? Because there's more buyers than sellers, man. Mount Gox 2.0. Is it BitMEX or is it Binance? Ding, ding, ding. Celebrity deathmatch. Arturo Munaz cannot look at BCH on the stream. We have an active position in BCH in the group. Apologies, my mate. A BTT USDT we can look at. I like to be right, just like in love. Craig Wright doing all these things. Tom Hardy says, man, you make me realize I've got so much to learn. I've been watching your channel for a month or so now, and I've learned so much, but a long way to go. Keep it up, mate. Thank you for joining us, man. Thank you for joining us, and you're in the right place. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. CryptoKitty says, my custom indicators on TradingView, is there a change for them? I don't know if you did a typo, if you meant change or charge. So my publicly available indicators for anybody to use are CC-EMA, my Wadatar explosion modification, but I actually recommend you go check out S. Malal's Wadatar explosion. So just it's actually better than mine, I think, just because he did that little neat explosion line thing. But again, we did the exact same thing. He just took it a step further, and it seems like I don't have enough time to dedicate to making the Wadatar explosion. So when I do make one that is really fancy and advanced and exactly the way I want it to, I'll let you guys know. Pili says, how likely would you say ZERP would shoot up if we see a strong correction in BTC? How likely would I say it would be that ZERP would shoot up? I don't necessarily think if BTC tanks that we see a strong shoot up in XRP. They are negatively correlated, so it would be a good bet. But I'd want to see the chart. I want to see it prove itself. BTC USDT. So there hasn't been a change for those. There hasn't been a change. I did change some of my indicators around. I got a hold of the TradingView staff because of the way that when you publish a script, again, I publish some of those scripts with like the version numbers in them. And then I realized that I shouldn't have done that. I should have just named them and labeled them. Plus, there was an issue where you had to actually go to my page. You couldn't just search for, well, I wanted to make it easy. So if you open up the indicator window in TradingView and just type in cracking, all my indicators will come up. and it's just easy to click on them. Now, there are 2 indicators, there will be a third coming out very soon, that are only available to premium subscribers, and that is time transformation, that's Quadriga, average true range, and Minx will be subscriber only, as well as compassion and fidelity are the other 2 indicators that that are in active development that I'm working with. I like to say I'm working with my developer on them, but really it's me, right? So just kind of audits my work. And Joshua asked for storage. So yeah, we'll take a look at storage if we can. I think that's all we have time for, guys, to look at today. All right, so let's scroll down here. Can clipboard malware affect mobile users when using apps? Yes, potentially. A little bit. I don't know if it's harder or easier. Again, I'm not a security expert, but I don't see why. I mean, Android or iOS it's an OS, so it's a computer on a small chip. How to use a new email address for your Binance account? You have to create a new Binance account. So unless you have some reason why you want to stay with your Binance account, such as affiliate links or I don't know, maybe I don't know. I can't think of any other reason besides affiliate income, right? So if you're the average trader and you don't have that, then just go out and create a new one. But if you didn't, just take the note then, all right? It's not critical, like you don't have to, right? But what you can do is you can try to start segregating your exchange emails then. So if you are doing a lot of stuff on your personal email, or if that's how you set stuff up in the first place, just be aware that that's not the best way to do things, and so you have that information moving. You don't make that mistake. Oh, Eli back coming in, man. Wants us to take a look at Xhaven. You get bumped right to the top of the list. Eli back gets bumped right to the top of the list. So you guys know what time it is. It is time to take a quick break. We're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna refresh my coffee, and when I come back, we're gonna take a look at Xhaven, Protocol, Arc, Engine, Ardor, Atom, BitTorrent, and StoreJahan. A little inside joke for growing up where I grew up, guys. So thank you guys so much for your support and your help. If you guys want to support the show, of course, obviously the thumbs up button. I feel like I've said that a bunch, but I just, again, it does help us out, guys. The thumbs up button, the subscription really do help us out. Of course, big thank you to the sponsor of the show who made bringing this to you possible today, stake.com. Thank you very much. Of course, the link is in the description down below. And we're going to take a quick break, guys. Don't go anywhere. While you're waiting, if you'd like to head on over to topg.crackingcryptocurrency.com, give us an upvote. We are in a fierce battle for the top spot over there. Not the top spot. I think I like this. But we're trying valiantly, guys. If you guys want to help us out, again, that's topg.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Doesn't cost you anything to register and give us a little upvote, and we do appreciate the support. We will be right back. All right, guys, thank you so much for staying with us. And anybody who went over to topg.crackingcryptocurrency.com gave us the upvote. Of course, we do, highly appreciate the support. Now, as I said, we're going to get into some stuff. I did see a question in here. MT Coiner asking on Twitch, could Bitfinex price premium and lack of liquidity on Binance Bitfinex be propping up the price? I do highly think that the Bitfinex price premium is helping to support the price of Bitcoin. Do I necessarily think that the price is being propped up? That is the rumor, that is the theory. But again, that's speculation, rumor, and it's impossible to act off of because we don't know until we know. And as a trader, it doesn't matter. If the price is going up, let's make money. If the price is going down, let's make money. Who really cares who's doing it? I will leave that for the speculators. But lack of liquidity? No, I don't think so. It's it's quite a liquid market. Lack of liquidity means that we're going to have more volatile price movements, and we're actually seeing nice, slow, steady growth. So, no, I don't think the lack of liquidity is the issue. All right, as I said, we're going to get into some of this Twitter information, and I did want to... I did want to talk about some of this Binance information. So, of course, this is the first tweet coming out from CZ. This was actually at 12:06 p.m. my time yesterday, where CZ says, have to perform some unscheduled server maintenance that will impact deposits and withdrawals for a couple hours. No need to FUD. Funds are SAFU. Following up, Justin, after the information came out, he retweeted about 2 hours after that they were hacked. Justin's son, of course, yes, the same guy who faked the Tron giveaways, coming out and saying, hey, to support Binance, I will personally deposit 7,000 Bitcoins worth of USDT into Binance to buy BNB, Bitcoin, Tron, and BTT if CZ Binance agrees. No need to FUD. Funds are SAFU. Of course, Justin's son never, poor Sally didn't catch this hack. No, she did not. It's all right. This will be the first event. This will be one of the first big events that me and Sally have gone through. Or he is the hacker. Dun, dun, dun. Sally's revenge. Okay. And of course, CZ responding saying, thanks for the support. Really appreciate it. But we don't need that, man. We got this. We will cover the loss from the SAFU fund. There's enough. We are hurt, but not broke. We are working hard to resolve the issue so that everyone can deposit and withdraw again. Will take some time. Going further down the rabbit hole, token analyst responding with, we took a quick look at the Binance hack and I have identified hacker-owned wallets green that are holding 5,846.32%. Or excuse me, that's not correct. 5,846.32 Bitcoin, or 34 million of the 7,000 Bitcoin that was stolen. This point, Bitcoin has not moved since the hack. However, responding to this is CoinFirm saying wrong. The Bitcoin from the Binance hack has moved. You post under ours, the token analyst, we will do it to you. No, that's like kind of like weird English. Okay, whatever. But anyways, this is CoinFirm saying the Binance hacker. This is 3 hours ago. This is not 3 hours ago. This is about 5 hours ago now. The Binance hacker just moved the funds again. CoinFirm analysis shows that 1,227 Bitcoin of the Binance funds have been moved to 2 addresses held by the hacker. Somebody says that those are exchange accounts, or that they've been swept into exchange accounts now. One holds 707 Bitcoin, the other holds 520, which seems to congrue well. It seems that the updates that I've seen kind of popping up on my news screen over here is that that portion has been moved somehow to an exchange. We don't know what exchange yet. I wish I did know. I don't know. If somebody knows, let me know in the chat. And this general. Okay, so do you guys remember the BitMEX hack of 2016? Right? We talked about that the other day when funds from the BitMEX hack, this is when they launched the basically the IEO, if you want to call it that, and return investor funds from the hack. This was kind of the initiation of the old tether. And what we have here is the BitMEX hack, August 2nd, 2016. What happened to the Bitcoin market? Pop, 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 pop. Okay. Now I think the market structure is a little bit different, so I just wanted to point this particular chart out, that after a huge massive hack like this, which again, that was less Bitcoin than this, and that was less money than this at that point in time. So again, this is what the market responded to. The market went sideways for a little bit and then just went on a full parabolic tear. However, March 2018, the Binance hack, we dropped 21.96% in just a few days. Now, again, two different things. We were in a bull trend then, so price just continued on in its bullish trend. We were in a bear trend here, so we just continued on in the bear trend. We were just looking for a reason to sell. So different. So again, the argument is, are we in a bull trend now? Are we in a bear trend? Are we in a bull market? Are we in a bear market? We're definitely in a bullish trend. This, I think, is quite funny. Yes. So what verification level did the hackers need to withdraw 7,000 Bitcoin? Seems that if you are level 2, you get a 100 Bitcoin withdrawal amount. Level 3 is a higher limit. Doesn't seem like that would jump all the way up to 7,000. So, but potentially, again, you have to remember that they did literally target high net worth individuals on Binance. This is obviously who they were targeting. So actually quite happy that I wasn't personally affected by this hack. And then CryptoLec coming out and saying that there is an onion site up with the Binance private keys on sale. Again, there's no comments, no replies to this, so I can't verify this. I don't know. I didn't go scroll onion websites. But this is apparently the screenshot from the Onion site. So if any of you guys know a little bit about this or want to do a little bit more dig deeping onto there, of course, you can hit me up or post the information in the Discord. Love to hear some more information on this. And then here we can basically see the chain of how the Binance hacked funds did move throughout the network. All right, so getting over into the charts, we have Xhaven Protocol. Eli, come on, Eli. Eli, we talked about Haven. We told you, I said, man, we need to be out. We laid this out clearly. I believe so. Going back to when we were first talking about this, brother, we had the bearish order block that was closed above. We were looking for that pullback and for the push up. We didn't get that. In fact, we closed below, retested it as resistance here. We retested it as resistance here. We retested it as resistance here. And on this candle right here, we actually retested it as resistance, rejected, and closed below the daily baseline. And that is when you're out, man. If you needed further confirmation, we closed below and then are unable to get above. If you needed further confirmation, we close below the secondary baseline here and then back test and reject from the secondary baseline. I mean, that is as textbook as it gets. That opened up our next buy zone for a potential entry. Had you bought in the buy zone here, you could have taken this all the way up to the daily baseline right here for a good trade. Is there any good place to get out of this? So here's my point. People, I get this question. I have no idea whether price is going to go up or down on Xhaven. All I can tell you right now is that it's nowhere I would want to buy. It's nothing I would want to be involved in. There's no opportunity here for a setup or signal. The daily hasn't turned. We don't know if it will turn. We don't have anything. The next zone below us potentially for a buyback would be this bullish order block right here. That's another 20% to the downside. Now, listen, you're going to be mad at me if I say, which I'm saying, sell. Get out of this coin because you made a mistake. All right. Reevaluate and what's going to be more beneficial for you moving forward is not anything that happens on this coin, right? It doesn't matter how big of a loss you take on it. What's going to be the most beneficial for you moving forward is going back and looking at what you did wrong. There were clear signs to be out of this trade, and the reason and if you weren't out of this trade, it's because you wanted to hold on, my good friend. And I love you to death, man. You're one of the good ones. But if you held on from back when we were talking about this, when we laid out clear what needs to happen to be out, and it's not that I was right. It's nothing to do with that. It's just the chart, the market is telling you the price is no longer bullish. So this is nasty, dude. I don't like this chart. I don't like this coin. It hasn't put in any bullish reactionary or signals. And just because it's cheap and approaching the bottom of the market does not make me want to hold on. The reason why is because I don't believe in that buy and the coin will eventually recover, because that didn't work out well for all of 2018. And the reason I started cracking cryptocurrency is because I wanted to help people who had lost most of their money throughout 2018. So I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm sorry that you're still in this coin. That's a pretty significant loss. But I do I would recommend that you cut your loss, reevaluate how it became this steep of a loss. And again, I don't know if maybe you just bought back in the buy zone and then price closed below. Time to get out. But nasty, man. Love you, brother. Trade safely. We've got ARK. That's what I want. Coin market cal. Wow, CoinX is shady as hell, man. See how I just did a typo on CoinMarketCal and it took me to CoinX? What the actual? All right. So besides ARC, that's ABT. That's not ARC. That's not ARC. I don't see any scheduled news coming out for for ARC. Oh, of course. ARC. 2 hours ago, ARC has been accepted into the Google season of Docs programs, one of only 50 projects accepted, and the only blockchain program that made it. I assume this is what we're talking about. Go over to ARC, see what reaction we had from that news. We already had the reaction from the news. Came right up to our daily baseline and rejected quite strongly. Take a look at downtrend, strong downtrend, downtrend, random pump to resistance. Extremely appetizing. All right, let's go to the hourly. So we've got some resistance coming in right here at 88.40 sats. It sucks to say, yeah, man, if price goes up another 8%, then we can take the trade. But again, if you really expect this to be like a bullish, to actually put in some bullish opportunity moving forward, I do like this. I do like this double top. I do like this push up. Now, if we grind up here higher toward this resistance level and break, pull back, and continue, then yeah, then we can shoot for some higher targets. I mean, we can just initially target these equal highs right here. We can initially target these equal highs right here. Look pretty good. So potentially, like a 5 to 15% trade on that, I would assume. Yeah, maybe like a 3 to 10% trade on ARC. But right now, I don't really like it. There's nothing special about this. Going to the higher time frames for this to really break out. Let's get rid of those. Going to the higher time frames, if there was really anything special about ARC, I mean, we have no bullish indications. Just this is pump to resistance, and generally when that happens, it continues. Right? Why is this any different? Why is this any different? Because it seems like we've bottomed out. Well, that happened over here, and we pumped to resistance lower. We're at the bottom of the market. All right, so let's look at where our order block is. Our bullish block. And I mean, yeah, we are okay. We're in the bearish order block, so that's fine. So if you want to scoop some up playing the bearish order block, that's okay. I'm comfortable with it. But if the daily closes below, 79.10, then your trade's been invalidated. This chart doesn't look constructive at all. Sorry. Engine. So, okay, going back in time, guys, we talked about that BPC. All right, it absolutely happened. We broke. All right, we broke down. We actually need to restructure this because back when we were, and we can see that that actually did play out on this. We did get a nice bullish reactionary. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Okay, so we've got a new bearish breaker. It's going to be our primary level of resistance right there. And suppose we can use this bullish breaker as well. And we have this area of interest right here, obviously. So on the daily might do something here. Doesn't look too bad on the daily for an intraday trade. Get a percent or two out of it. This doesn't look too terribly bad. Our daily. And then we target the targets here. So this doesn't look too bad for a bottom feeder trade. You don't want to see the hourly close below 22.30. I mean, you're right there. So the risk to reward here is pretty good on the intraday trade. Ideally, what you'd want to see is you'd want to see a BPC of 22.76, and then you could target 23.14, 23.36, and 23.61. So you're just looking at the liquidity. You're just looking for liquidity grabs within your daily range, because this is your daily range. This is a candle right here. So just be cautious with this one. Here's where your daily opened right here. So you could target back above that. And then again, if we can reclaim 23.61, then we can talk about a higher term for movements. But the daily doesn't look good. Look at volume. Actually look at the hourly for that. Do we see a big spike in selling volume? Indicate continuation volume. Yeah. Doesn't look fantastic. This does look like a good little mini bounce, but as far as like something that you want to buy, you see, this is what most people think, right? Because people are lazy when it comes to altcoins. No offense, guys, but they're like, oh, an altcoin's cheap, so I'm just gonna fill my bag up and sell it higher, right? That's lazy trading, right? Lazy trading. There's a great thread that somebody posted in the members group. There's a great thread somebody posted in the private Discord earlier about how people are obsessed with buying altcoins cheap and then selling them high, because that's a lot easier. It's lazy trading as opposed to actually trading a liquid market like Bitcoin and like trading a real liquid market like Bitcoin and consistently pulling profit in a real big boy market, something like Forex or equity. It's difficult. It doesn't have to be, especially if you design an if this then that strategy. But a lot of people want to just buy alts cheap and think they're going to go up a lot and then sell them. So I don't fall into that camp. Something isn't attractive to me just because it's cheap. Do I think this is a good place to fill your bag? Hell no. A decent place that you could pick up a good position is around 1717, 1772. That's our next bullish breaker. We'll target that. And we'll see what happens. So what I'm actually going to do for myself, I'll set an alert down here. For bullish reaction off the bullish breaker. And then on the hourly, I'm going to set an alert for this. And that's all I'm going to do. So just to recap, I could see a bottom feeder snag right now up to 22.76, potentially 23.14, 23.36, and 23.61. Ideally, the best trade would be a BPC breakout trade of 22.76, then targeting those upper levels as well. Hourly close below 22.30, you are out of the trade. Long-term time frames, looking at that zone, looking at that bullish breaker between 17.72 and 17.17 for a potential buyback zone. Vic NG says, if I have time, please take a look at IOTA Ethereum on a longer time frame. Does it look like a triple bottom? Let's take a look. Well, I mean, we are definitely at the bottom of the market cycle. Let's take a gander here. Make ourselves a bullish order block. Try and find the best example of it that we can. Best candle that we can. For the best of the best of the best, sir! Okay. Like, oh, very beginning. Like that never really got bought back up. Better one. Viable. That one's bought up. Bought. Ooh, no, I don't like this. Be a good bullish order block right here. Fake out. And here's where it should have got bought back. Held. Traded through all the way. Tried. Failed. Retest as resistance. Right? No, I'm out of this right now, man. Especially if this rejects, then we'll come down here. So, here. 127,000 ETH sats. 118,171 ETH sats. That would be the buyback zone for me. Right down here. Especially if we close the daily like this. This looks gnarly. Now we have to wait for a full reclamation of this level as support. For full reclamation, as we need to take out this high. Sucks, but you're free to do whatever you want, of course. But that's the only way this looks attractive to me. This is shady business right here. It's a retest of it's a resistance test of support. If we break through, okay, cool. I mean, you could be more risky and say, okay, well, listen, if we reclaim this bottom level of support, then we'll take the trade. That would be okay too. Especially, you know, the main thing is here is you can manage your risk well, okay? But ideally, I'd like to see. Top Hat, good to hear you, man. Good to see you, Top Hat. Good to read your texts. Yes, moon the light, guys. I would highly appreciate that. All right, Arter. What's the ticker for Arter? Found it. I don't need your help. Oh, what? Sorry. All right. Sniffles. We talk about Arter. Cryptomania. New signal for Arter. Yeah, Joshua, storage is on the list. Good man. I don't know if you can see it right over here on the request list. Jay Constant, you don't got to worry about it too much, man. Yes, if you change your password into Google authentication, it'll be fine. Just especially if you're tied to if you want your exchange account. I'm just letting you know that the best way to create an exchange account is from the ground up. Fresh email, Google Authenticator, or some form of two-factor authentication on the email address, as well as the exchange account. You don't got to freak out. I'm not trying to inspire you to be panicky, okay? But I'm just letting you know, like, you know, if you like when you go to buy a car, right? You know, or you want security options. It'd be like if Brink's Home Security came to your house and they're like, all right, check it out, man. You want the basic package, you want the medium package, you want the high-end package. Well, you know, I have children, so I'd like the high-end package, but you know, you're settling for the medium package, and that's going to be okay for just about everybody out there. Keep in mind, not your keys, not your money. Okay. How is this a signal? $12. Big pump, but anything to do with it. You can't trade something like this, man. This is like a buy and hope chart. Like, all right, I'm gonna buy, and I'm just waiting for something like this. It's just not my style, guys. Top Hat says, do I ever just pull all of my cash from the market and reset, as it were? So I haven't in quite a while. Occasionally, I do have to balance funds around because of the nature of my investment capital. But in general, like, no, not really. I've moved from exchanges, and I rebalance every once in a while. So, you know, I do have to do a monthly rebalancing of all my positions. And sometimes when I want to unwind a position, it takes some time. But overall, no, not really. Again, generally, if I'm uncertain in the market, I'll just short, I'll just hedge. I'm comfortable with the exchanges that I'm on. Again, I have, again, I know not your coin, not your keys, but I have faith. I don't want to say I have faith, but I trust. I do. I have to do business. I trust BitMEX insofar as keeping my funds on their exchange. They've never done anything dirty like that. They have no reason to. They make so much money. Doesn't mean that they won't. But BitMEX, Deribit, ByBit, they're quite good. They have quite good security, so I'm quite comfortable with them. Binance, again, has never done us wrong, so I'm not rushing to pull my funds off of Binance. I give them the benefit of the doubt. They're trying to be as transparent as they can, and this is just what we have to deal with to have somewhat of an unregulated market, which is pretty neat. I don't necessarily want all the BS that comes with government regulation, and sometimes that's risky, and sometimes people get burned, so you just have to do the best to hedge your risk and not put all your eggs in one basket. That's why I have multiple accounts. So if one gets hacked, it's a loss, but doesn't completely take me down. And generally, you know, people ask all the time, like, nobody with $50,000 to $100,000 or $1 million would ever put money on these exchanges. You're wrong, because they do. It's just you have to take some extra precautions to keep that amount of capital safe. The Crypto God, thank you so much for the subscription on YouTube, my good friend. Buy a new PC and phone. Should I cut off my fingertips and have a face transplant just to be Safu? Yes. Yes. I think you should. Yes. That seems like a good idea. Do the whole total recall, man. I don't know what you want me. Okay, let's try. We'll try, guys. Go take a look at that signal. 1 hour ago, 10:10 a.m. Okay. Lack of liquidity there because we just slipped from 9:58 to 10:25, but okay. So ten. Yeah, 10:10's right here. 10:10's right there. That's a pretty good signal. Not gonna lie. Pretty good signal. I'll follow this guy. Might make me rich on these shitcoin pumps. I don't know. Okay, so they do like buy and sell. Okay, cool. Real-time crypto alert, price and volume. Ah, gotcha. Ooh, they got a Telegram, guys. Don't miss out. One wrecked account can sponsor 6 scammers. See here. Give them credit where credit's due. They got you in there. They got you in there right about there. I call it third boob. Yeah, Ardor pumped and dumped, right? That's all it is, guys. Adam. Volatile. Very liquid pair. Nice. Like it. Could day trade this. Sucks. Sucks that you can't go short, man. All these goddamn lines on the chart. Oh, buy zone got invalidated. The last thing I did. Take a look at this. Jesus Christ. To the bottom of the market, we should buy. Oh, though. I mean, it's like they tried, but they just selling and selling and selling. This is panic selling mode. Let's check back in on this. Let's keep our eye on this one, actually. This might be good if it gets supremely oversold. We're going to get a lot of panic selling. So this might be good for a little bounce back. Again, just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's going to do anything impressive, but it might be good for a scalp. Be good for a raw reversal scalp. Yeah, so you see this buy signal on a 30-minute, just it's going to get invalidated on the close of this. Because continuation crosses invalidate time transformation signals. And again, you're speculative about taking them. A bearish trend. Baltimore has been hit with a cryptocurrency ransomware attack. IT and communication systems affected. That come on, baby. Show me how thick and girthy you can. Baltimore City services have been hit by a widespread outage after the city's mayor revealed that the network had been infected by ransomware. Only in Baltimore, man. Yeesh. Glad I'm not there, man. Vic NG says, I was a lazy trader, always trying to buy alts on the low instead of trading more liquid assets like Bitcoin. I've been trading Ethereum versus USD lately, though, and it's been working out a lot better. That's honestly, next to Bitcoin, Ethereum is my favorite pair to trade on ByBit. Love it. Andrew Munn says, if Coinbase gets hacked, I'm out of this game completely. Come on, man. There'll be plenty of stuff on sale for you, bro. Hot dog buns and bratwursts. Update your Windows 7 for the love of God. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on Atom. Actually, in general, yeah, I know that just because it's cheap doesn't make it a good buy, but this might put in a nice 5 or 10% watcher. BitTorrent token to USDT. Oh, hello. What? It's time to construct the chart. Okay. This thing is so whack-a-noodle. Hard to the 3 hours. Yeah, I guess I tag the liquidity that was formed right there. Yeah, just like every other fucking IEO chart out there. Pump. This one might be a little mission critical though. Something like a double or triple bottom. You guys know about chart patterns. Tag this 3 hour tag this 3 hour technically it's a bearish breaker. Bullish order block, disrespected. Try to get bought up back up here, disrespected. Yeah, technically this is a bearish breaker. So if this pops, this would actually be nice, at least up to the 55 EMA. You see that BPC up, down, back up, and then a trade to the 55. Good. A 6% trade. Three-hour cloud. Tried to go for the Kumo cloud breakout, but it didn't work. As we can see, if we look back in time, we see the Chico spawn is hitting resistance as well, and the future cloud is still bearish. Keep your eyes on this one. Maybe look for a pullback, but volume is not really that impressive, to be honest with you. Volume is shitty. But the breakout trade doesn't look too bad. Setting up for a good breakout trade. 1 attempt, 2 attempts. If we come back up here in BPC, might be good for about 5 or 6%. Holy shit. Okay. Hey, quality airdrops, what's up? $36.41 to $34.69 might be a decent stab. Yam Yamato Rock, thank you so much for the 1,000 yen, my good man. He says, hey, Justin, the Ichimoku video was very informative. Thank you for your work. Well, thank you so much for viewing, man. I highly appreciate the donation, my good friend. All right, so storage on the daily doesn't look impressive. I mean, it's in a bearish trend. We just recently got rejected again from our daily baseline. Now, we are approaching that bullish order block right here, that supported price right there. So again, the buy zone is going to be from 34.69 to 3,641 Satoshis. Don't want to see that daily close below. Don't even really want to see an hourly close below. Going down to something like the 3-hour here. We see some good selling on this volume that ended in a hammer and then not able to really push it back down. So we might see a little short-term bounce here. Would I be targeting all the way back to the EMA? No, I'd probably be targeting right here, this range between 39.27, 39.70 potentially for a 3% trade. Bad for 3%, actually. Yeah, just grab this liquidity. Look out these stops right here. Let's check out the 3-hour Ichimoku. Everything is bearish, but we can see the cloud twisting a little bit. Oh, yeah, volume really low on this movement down. And some sell-off right here. So, yeah, you would expect to see a little bit of a bullish reactionary. Maybe we can get 6%. Be Safu with it. More interested in this so far as I'm interested. BSV and BNB. We'll just glance briefly, guys. Hit the low of the market, and we got a daily buy signal. Yeah, we'll probably have a little dead cat bounce, maybe 8%. Makes sense. But nothing that looks good about BSV, bro. I mean, in the long term, got a lot of resistance to get over. See if we can get above 0.0104 stock. But it doesn't look too bad right now. Kind of the hour. Doing something right now in the hourly. An hourly TK cross right here. Have to have a Kuma cloud break. Like I said, the bottom of the market. I put in a little bit of behavior. And Bunba. Check out Bunba. Ooh, that looks nice. Nice daily. Closed inside the cloud on the daily. But a bullish reactionary. But we need to be cautious about this bullish breaker. If we reject from this, if we reject from 376,000 to 389,000 sats, then that's, I mean, because this is technically a bearish breaker right now. We did close inside the cloud. We're about to get a daily TK cross as well. But remember, when we get a TK cross, we often will see a retracement back to test the breakout zone. So could we see 12% out of BNB? Yeah. But I don't necessarily see this as trend shift. Probably the beginning. Potentially. Now we've got overhead our 13 and our 55. See if we can get that back test. Again, maybe 7 to 12% to the upside to retest that level of resistance. We did just tag this liquidity right here. So that's good. That's been taken out. Close. I think this actually probably looks the best for a raw reversal trade. confirmed on this candle right here. Hourly. 3 hour. About to get the 3 hour signal. Well, probably on the next candle if this hour. Be cautious right here at this first level of resistance. Oozed. Pretty weak volume, right? Fake out, up, reclamation, higher level of support. You know, I'm not gonna lie, this doesn't look terrible. Everything's kind of curling and twisting up. I'd like to see 0.309 hold. 0.309 hold, and then above 32 cents, I start to look for the breakout trade. ZERP's starting to look okay. Nothing that I want to enter yet, but just something to keep your eye on. Especially, I think Pili brought up a good, especially if Bitcoin does. Come on, baby. We're almost there. Just another 10% or so. Make it. Got how many days? 12 days. 12 days to drop. 12%. Come on, baby. Seems accumulation and consolidation on ZERP. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I agree with you as well. It's starting to look pretty good. Now we just need that good volume spike, man. Yeah, we just need that volume spike. And I'll feel a lot better about it. It might be getting closer to being time on ZERP, man. Just want some confirmations when this gets. KMD BDC, that's the last one I'll check. This looks okay. Got the daily buy right here. All three signals aligned right here. Above zero, auto confirming, above the baseline. Good trade. Wait for some pullbacks here on AMD. Yeah, this is actually looking pretty strong. I'm going to be cautious about longing or buying up into this 55. Now it's already put in it's already put in a good bullish movement. I want to see another BPC at a 55. Then it's kind of no holds barred. This looks pretty constructive. Good consolidation, break. Make sure that we hold. Definitely want to see like I need to see the daily baseline hold. 19,577 would be an early warning sign for me. Let's be realistic. What's the real level of resistance? Not use the fake out. Let's use the actual We BPC'd right here. We BPC'd break pullback. So I definitely want to see 19,050 sats hold, and the next setup that we could be looking. That's actually a good target right there. 22,560 sats if this thing does its thing. Yeah, this is getting sold into right now, though. It's done its thing for right now, so let this thing shake out. You know, it's popping back on the hourly. Hard there. Back on the hour. Already trading back above that level. Let's see if this 3 hour closes right there. That'll be pretty strong. Maybe we can take this back up to the daily 5 and then going. We'll 4 or 5%. But if we close below, we close below 20,280 sats, then that's fun. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Of course, I have been your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at CrackingCryptocurrency.com. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. As always, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, sarcastic remarks, and or death threats, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below, and I will respond to them as quickly as possible. Of course, if you would like to have access to our Pathways to Profit course, if you'd like access to our indicators and setups, if you'd like access to our educational material and our private Discord community, you can, of course, check the link out at the top of the screen right there. Well, higher up. Premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Again, I want to thank stake.com for sponsoring this video today. We do appreciate that support. And of course, we couldn't do it without the love and support of our sponsors as well, guys. So thank you so much for the viewers. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. And the question for the day is, guys, do you think the funds are SAFU? There's a lot of tinfoil hat conspiracies that are going on out there. Binance is involved with Bitfinex. They're in bed with CoinEx. There's a lot of sex.io going on. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, or bring it into the Discord in our general free community at discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com. It's about the community and the conversation as much as it is about the show. Sometimes I can speak English, not all the times. All right, until tomorrow, guys, make sure to trade safely. Oh, make sure you guys head on over to crackingcryptocurrency.com/blog. I forgot to talk about that today. Joe has published some fantastic articles on our blog, so if you guys want to keep up to date and keep your finger on the pulse of what's really going on in the market, make sure you check out our blog at crackingcryptocurrency.com/blog. All right, guys, until tomorrow, trade safely, and I'll catch you on the next one.